Hey YouTube, this is on the Prepper One, and this is a review video of the Energizer, and this is the PPS 2000. This unit was sent to me absolutely free. I am making no commission or any money off of it, so I'm going to give you my review. Now my reviews are different. A lot of people do the technical nerdy reviews. I'm not the technical nerdy type of guy. I do the practical plug a saw in, see if it works. As you know, in this new building, no power. In my shop, no power. So I run off of power boxes. So I use them a lot, probably more than most people that get one and put back for an emergency. I am using them and testing them. So this is an Energizer. This unit has a LiFePO 4 battery in it. So that would be a lithium iron phosphate. So that's the biggest thing to me. It checks the box. Also, this one has 2,150 watt hours. A lot of units that I've showed you were like 2,000 watt hours. This is 2,150, so a little bit more. This one is rated for 2,000 cycles, and then it will go to 80% of the capacity, but it's only 2,000 cycles. The inverter that's in here is a pure sine wave inverter, and it's rated at 2100 continuous and 4800 peak. This is has many uses for many people. For me, I'm reviewing it as a prepper. I'm reviewing it for like the off-gridder that might have a small cabin. He takes it up there. So let's get right into it. This can be charged many ways. You can charge it with your car. And that would be 100 watts plugged into your cigarette lighter. And if you're going to charge it from your car, make sure your car is running, because if you just plug this in and walk away, you'll probably end up with a dead battery. It can also be charged with solar. It comes with every connection. I'm not going to go over all the different cables, but they have provided the cables to do what 99% of people want to do. This is how you're going to charge it from the grid, or if you're running it on a generator. It has two fans in it, which is sort of nice, and it will plug in right here. And this will be able to plug into the grid and charge it, or if you have no grid power, you can use your generator. When I have this plugged in, it's putting less than 500 watts into it. Usually it's about 475 in that realm. So I would rate it at medium. There's a lot of solar generators that charge a lot quicker, 800-900. So that's a little bit on the small side. The reason is, let's say you have no sun outside and you have a generator and you want to charge this back up with your gas-powered or propane or diesel generator. If this is put in less than 500 and this is over a 2,000 watt-hour battery, you're going to take 4 hours to charge it. That's the reason I want a bigger charger. I want to be able to run that generator for 2 hours, maybe 2.5. I don't want to have to run it for 4 hours, because every hour is using precious resource, as in your fuel. So I wish that was a little bit bigger, but it's not. You can also use solar, and it's set up to do that. And solar max capacity that this can take in is 900 watts. So that's awesome. And they make it so you can use, if you have the solar panels, 900 watts of solar panels, you can use that. And you could plug this into your generator if you got to get this thing charged, or if the sun is just not there, you can plug them in at the same time, and then you can supercharge this. But really the solar is based on how many panels you have. Do you have the 900 watt capacity? If not, the less you have, the slower and the longer it's going to take. But it does come with all the cords you're going to need. If you're looking at that thing and you say, man, I have seen that display. That display is awesome. You've probably seen it on some other units. It will tell you everything. It probably can't tell you the temperature outside, but it can come close. It can change the language, you can change the hertz, but we stick at 60 hertz in the United States. But it's set up to do everything, and it has an alarm feature, so if you do have a problem with the unit and it codes out and shuts down, you can see exactly why it shut down. To turn on the power, you have AC here and DC. Just push that, so now you have your AC is on. We have no power coming into that. or no power coming out. But if you did have this hooked up to your solar panel and you were using it, that's a feature called pass-through. That's a big requirement for me. But the screen will give you everything you need to know. You can change it to charge from PV, or if you're charging it off the car cigarette lighter. They've done a good job in giving you everything. I'd like the 6 available outlets. A lot of times you might have little things plugged in, and then if you don't have enough plugs, you got to get a power strip or an extension cord. So they do give you enough to handle everything you're going to do. The USB ports, they have A and C. They have 12 volts, so you can do 12-volt small appliances. The on-off switch is so easy. It's just a simple push. You know it's on. The green's going to tell you it's on. You can control how long your screen stays on. There's a lot of features with this display. This is one of my favorite displays. This one, and then there's a couple others that use this very similar. The unit is heavy. That's one thing that if you're limited to be able to, lift up something, if you have limited strength, or you're getting older, you don't really want to carry this thing around. It's 66 pounds, so it does weigh a lot. I've used this thing on a small air compressor. I've used it on my circular saw. I've used it on a lot of tools down in the shop, and I've had no problems. The efficiency is very good. I rate it maybe a little bit above average, definitely above the 85%. When you're running this thing, you can never get the 2,150 watt hours out of it, because the unit itself is going to consume energy. It has to run the inverter, it has to run the light, it has to run the display, and that takes power. But I have found it to be very efficient. I usually throw a 1,500 watt electric heater on here and see how it works, and it has worked as good as any other unit that I have tested. So the things that I noticed that wasn't on here is a light. Some of them, as you know, have lights. To me, that's not a big deal. I don't really care about the light. Usually what I do is I hook up one of the USB lights, plug it in, and snap it right here. That's why I can put the light where I want it. Usually the light's on the side, on the back, on the top. It's not where I want it. So I just buy a cheap $10 USB light, plug it in, put it on the top, and I can direct that light where I need to see, and usually it's right here. Plugging stuff in if it's dark. So some of my requirements as a prepper and as a prepper channel: first, the thing has to have a lithium iron phosphate. This has a lithium iron phosphate, so one good thing. It has to have capacity to do pass-through, be able to get power out and put power in at the same time. The next thing that I'm adding is customer support. I've had people buy some units and they've had some problems, minor problems, but getting customer support was very hard. I've actually had to step in and help. I get great customer support because they send the unit to me and I'm talking and dealing with a person that is just dealing with me. They're trying to get their product to seen by a lot of people. So for me to evaluate their customer support, I can't. You have to. So if you're going to buy a couple $1,000 piece of equipment, before you buy it, send them some questions. See if they respond to you in a timely manner. If they don't respond to you and you're trying to purchase the item, they're probably not going to respond to you after you did purchase the item and you have a problem. Another thing that I'm taking into account is expandability, because I'm talking to people every day about power units, every day. And the biggest thing is, some people say, well, I need just a little bit more juice. I need a little bit more watt hours. And if the machine is not expandable, then they're like, okay, I got to buy a second unit. If you buy a second unit, you got to buy more solar panels. So expandability is huge. When you get into these prices, when you're spending a couple $1,000s, your unit needs to be expandable so you can say, hey, I need more battery. And you can just simply buy it, plug it into it. Expandability. Cost. The cost of these things varies. If you're really serious about it, look at how much each watt hour is going to cost you. The problem is, every time a new unit comes out or you see a video, they always give coupon codes. And then in a few weeks, the coupon code expires and the product goes back to the original price. So I'm dealing with original price. When I look at a machine, what's the original price of this machine? Not counting any codes, any specials, what's it going to cost? Because a week from now or 5 weeks from now, somebody might look at it and purchase it, and they could be getting different prices. So I evaluate it at its higher price, just for fairness of the product. So this one's an expensive unit. They do have some great coupons that brings it down. I also look at the high charge rate. This thing needs to charge fast. I have limited amount of fuel for my generator. I don't want to waste an hour or two every day of running a generator unnecessarily when I could just buy a unit that charges very quickly. So those are things I look at. This unit doesn't meet all those requirements. It's a great unit. It is a solid unit. And if you know you're never going to need expandability, then this is something you could look at. But a lot of people thought they would never need expandability, and they call me back and say, you know what, I made a mistake. I bought a unit, and I need to expand it. This thing is built like a tank. The display is really, really good. This is the best display out there because it tells you everything. Even that crow agrees that this is a good display. So if you got any questions before you purchase thing, please send me an email to southernprepper1@yahoo.com, and we will talk. Thousands of dollars is a lot of money. I will walk you through, and we can custom pick out a unit for you. We need to take into account weight too. A lot of people can't move this around. So there's other units out there, but overall, the Energizer would be a fine machine if you could live with not being able to expand it and a slower charge from grid power or from a generator. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.